thank you. It is the top of the hour. It is at 4 o'clock here in the UK and in Dublin, and welcome to this, our first BPAC meeting of 2026. It feels like it is only 21 days, 3 weeks into the new year, and I feel that we have probably read about 4 years worth of news happening all at once. I have to say thank you very much for everyone in political power who is managing to make this year so interesting and so plain sailing for all of our economies. Anyway, this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk through our technology and give you updates on Sage CRM. We are going to be looking at, of course, development. We're going to be giving you a roadmap update and explaining really some of the impacts on the roadmap that priorities are taking. We'll be looking at some of the recent activities that we have done, and we will also be looking at really the collateral and supporting matters for that. So that's where we are. That's the normal pattern actually for any of these meetings, and I'm joined this afternoon by Elizabeth, who has confirmed that she's here, and Mish Martins, who is just coming into the meeting as I speak there as well. And Mish will be giving us an update as well. Hi, Mish.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastically. All the better for hearing you as well.
Sorry I'm late.
That's all. It's all good. Now, remember, the point of these meetings is so that you can get the absolute transparency from us in terms of understanding our strategy, understanding how we in turn understand the entire commitment from Sage into the product, so the validation of that strategy, and how we can explore how different blind spots within the product are being addressed, and how we can go ahead with the development of the roadmap and how we're doing that. Now, I'm not going to repeat everything that I have covered in the last few sections, but we have been doing quite a lot of exploration of the tech functional gap analysis that we've carried out. I have been sharing with you the news on really what we want to do in terms of plugging those. And this is something that, as we get closer into other releases, I will be coming back to and return back to today. But so if you'll excuse me, I'm not necessarily going to be covering all of these points in each of these meetings, because otherwise they wouldn't be less than an hour long. They would be considerably more than an hour long. I do want to encourage you, and it is already happening, that if you think that you have other colleagues and partners that should be in this meeting, then tell me, and I will make sure that they are added in. And they may not actually be reselling partners, they may be ISVs as well. And if they are there to strengthen the community that we have in order to be able to resell Sage CRM, then that is very, very good. So although it's membership by invitation, it is a fairly open invitation. You can just tell me and we'll add people in to the list. Obviously, if their email address is a Microsoft, we're not necessarily going to let them in to the meeting. But we meet on a bi-monthly basis, and it is a very good thing because we'll be talking about this in a moment, about our release schedule and the discipline of the release schedule that we're coming into in 2026. It's going to be a very important cadence for you to get absolutely where we are as well. Okay, so if you want to extend an invitation, point people in the direction of Sage CRM team sage.com as well. Okay. Now, I will remind everyone in terms of the messages, I will do this every time, that Sage is fully committed to Sage CRM. It has asked us to extend our roadmap to 2030 and beyond. We're going to be looking at the roadmap, especially in today's session. We are a very valuable product to Sage. Even if we're not the sexiest tool in the toolbox, we are nevertheless a very profitable tool, and we are still selling and selling well. We integrate through either direct integration or through ISV integration with all of the main accounting products, and we even will go into Sage Business Cloud as well through the APIs. And Misha, I think you've talked about that in the past as well. Don't talk about it in this session, but I'm just calling out and saying that there isn't an accounting product within the Sage family that we do not integrate with. We have flexible deployment options, cloud, on-premise, hybrid, very important for identification. We have lots of customers who are only buying us because we are on-premise and not a shared service. There's a lot of concern about in some customers about the ownership and visibility of data. We have a very strong return on investment and total cost of ownership story as well, which we know. And of course, that integration with the accounting systems means that we have a very strong value proposition that ensures that we have strong account retention and growth. That's the background to that. And another layer to that is to always remind you about the fact that we have this standing order that we are supposed to think and act like a startup, and that means and Elizabeth may well explain a little bit later on how we've been actually reassigning and removing, moving about some of the resources within the team to make us much more fit for rapid addressing of customer issues, and also to be able to get us to a point where we can add features and concentrate on the bits that we need to concentrate on as part of our long-term mid to long-term renewal of the product, and to ensure that longevity that justifies a roadmap through to 2030 and beyond. So our product vision is, of course, to make sure that we offer the capabilities within Sage CRM that offers seamless integration capabilities. That's development of the APIs. We'll be talking more about that in a little bit, looking at the empowerment of customers in terms of reporting capabilities and visibility and transparency of the data within Sage CRM. A lot of what we're going to be talking about is relevant to that. The idea of those APIs really being sure to be powerful, so not just offering the standard insert, update and delete, but actually going along more than from what it offers in terms of what you can do, but what it means to do it as well. And we want to be able to ensure that our interface is, as given the constraints of our development time, as modern and as intuitive as possible. And that means, and I'll be talking about the idea of the de-clicking, trying to remove some of the clicks from our user experiences. And of course, this deploy anywhere strategy with an improved focus on reliability, on scalability and performance. That's the vision, and I will keep repeating that every meeting that we have, because that keeps me focused on what we're supposed to be doing as well. Now, in terms of the development updates, we have released now Sage CRM 2025 R2, and that release has finally took place in November when we went gold. And we have delivered finally the end of the Exchange update and renewal. And this is the Exchange online experience. And so that large job has been completed, and we have continued to do a little bit of work with this in the context of 2025. 2026 R1 as well, based on the drilling down exactly of the permissions that are required for our work with the exchange. And we have also delivered, as we can see, so not only finished that exchange online migration to MS Graph and the renewal and in delivery here of integrations with appointments, contacts and tasks, but we have also delivered this concept of the Sage CRM labs, the inbuilt features that people can pull down and choose to use, whether or not that we eventually move that into the core product or not. It allows us to introduce these things which are on the waiting list, if you like, of our features that can be dropped in. Now, we have been working in a situation where our work on the features, as we saw to the delivery of the exchange renewal, took far longer and was far more painful than we wanted. That had really quite an adverse effect on our ability to deliver as much obvious customer benefit that we wanted. This is essentially a renewal of a feature that had gone because of the way in which the security policies of Microsoft had changed, and we needed to move forward and adopt that. And so essentially it was a maintenance process that created the problem that we then tried to bypass by moving into using the labs. Now, that process itself in development created pressures within our release cycle, which meant that we delivered late. And part of the problem of delivering late is that the experience that people had when we delivered 2025 R2, we found that one of the features that we had added in 2025 R2, which had been finalized after the beta program had actually finished, which was maddening on everyone's part, broke the Sage 300 integration, which meant that actually we had to very hurriedly produce a 2025 R2.1 patch, and that is the one that North America is using. So we have this challenge that we had done something which we thought was very clever to remove caching inside .NET DLLs, which actually created a problem for the Sage 300 integration, which resulted in that being further delayed. This is the situation as we are now. So we went gold on the 26th of November. Germany was all set after their beta program. They went gold straight away on the 26th of November as well. North America and Sage 300 Global went gold on the 16th of December, with the UK following largely down to some administrative tasks that needed to be done to make sure that everything was in the correct SKUs and things like that within the billing system. They didn't go until the 6th of January, and Spain finally went live on the 14th of January as well. France, I don't know. I don't have news about France's release cycle. We know that we're the whole side of the product marketing side are talking to that up, and some of you who are from France will know that I have been in conversation, and the support team have been in conversation all the way through about ways in which we can make sure that the updates which are to do with security can be made available to our French partners and customers. that's the wrinkle at the moment, and we're addressing that as we speak. Now, that has all created really a situation where we have to think about the priorities. We've given lots of resources, as you can see here, on the community, lots of material around the new release of 2025 R2. Still plenty more to blog about. It's a very rich product with the components and the features of that have been added in with the renewal. But we have this investment strategy. This was something that Rob Sinfield presented a year ago in South Africa. And this is something that we are very much clear on. These are the big headlines of how Sage presents Sage CRM's renewal. So you can see that we have got the idea that we are optimizing around Exchange Online integration. We've done that. We are working with some of the lab features on streamlined administration. The platform modernization is very important to us because it's when we move finally from a 32-bit DLL to a 64-bit DLL, we expect to see lots of stability and performance benefits from that. And we also are in a position very close to being able to provide automatic deployment inside cloud customer bases, as well as wanting to make sure that we have single sign-on and multi-factor authentication. At the same time, Sage is pressuring everyone on the AI route, and I need to talk to you about that and some of the things that we're doing to support the idea that we will be ready. We are coming into a position this year to really offer a very dramatic way of enabling natural language reporting and further that integration with our accounting products on a conceptual and semantic basis, as well as as I've talked about just a little while ago, about the whole idea we want to be able to click or eliminate as many clicks as possible to make the experience as simple as possible, and to make the user interface a little bit more compelling in terms of a user desire and want to use it. That's the outline. But we need to get back to a rhythm where people can rely on the fact that we're releasing when we're releasing. And we have a commitment for a March and a September release, where we want to be able to release on the 31st of March, or close to the 31st of March. Got here the 27th of March is when we're planned release for 2026 R1. That is the constraint, and Sage is that's going to be, if you like, the immovable barrier. We've got to get back to here because we cannot afford to do another release where we have to hurriedly get a patch out because people have not been able to reliably test within the environment that they've got. So we want to be able to get to the point where 2026 R1 is a new baseline for us in terms of that. And that presents a challenge for this roadmap that I presented. This was the version of the roadmap that I presented at TPAC Asia. So that was before the release, and this is what we had identified as what we could fit in, what we thought we were going to do. But the reality of the release for 2025 R2 has taught us something about our ambitions for this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand over now to Elizabeth, who is going to talk us through really the reality for what is going to happen in terms of 2026 R1, and as you can hear, the constraints that I have been outlining for our development. So let's, if I move over and invite Elizabeth now to explain the pressures on the roadmap.
Thank you, Jeff. I don't know if you can hear this. I'm up in the attic and there's rain on the windows, so I apologize for any background fuzzy noise. So yes, as Jeff has pointed out, we have had an interesting 2025 with not just the exchange integration work that we did, which delayed both R1 and R2 last year, but we also released 12 patches last year. So we patched older, still supported versions of CRM with the updates to exchange integration. Every patch obviously takes up dev and QA time. So we really do need to sort out our schedule and give everybody a sense of cadence of when to expect the release. It's not just for our partners, but also for our colleagues in Sage 300, 100, for them to test the integration and for partners to know when the next version is coming out. Gives everybody a sense of being able to plan when they're going to do updates. Can you skip over to the next one, please, Jeff? So 26.
This was the slide that you were expecting, wasn't it? Yes.
So 26 R1 is, for me, it's all about security vulnerabilities, compatibility issues, and fixing as many customer bugs as we possibly can in the time that we have. So when we say compatibility, what we're talking about is updating our third-party software. So that would be things like a Microsoft SQL Server. We're going up to 2025, which was released last year. So that will give us additional functionality. Also, Apache Tomcat, Apache FOP, React.js. These are tools that we incorporate in the product. Users may not be aware of them, but they are essential for the functioning of CRM. So we need to update to later versions, not just for continued functionality, ideally enhanced functionality, but also because there may be security vulnerabilities in the older versions that we have. So by patching, by updating, we're addressing those security vulnerabilities before they can be exploited. That is actually one of the aspects of the security updates for 26R1. There's also another angle, which is related to the pen test that we commissioned last year. So there are 3 important issues that we need to address in 26R1. We've also got a few customer issues, security issues from our customers and partners who've identified potential vulnerabilities. So we'll be addressing those as well. All told, there are about a dozen security issues in 26R1. We tend not to give too many details about the security issues we fixed because we have 2023 R1 onwards still supported, still being used, and we don't necessarily want to say too much about what we're doing security-wise because the vast majority of our customers won't have 26 R1 in the months after it's released. People take a long time to upgrade. We don't want to expose vulnerabilities among our huge customer base. So all we can say is that we are always aware of potential security issues. We do address them as soon as they're reported to us. We will release patches when absolutely necessary, but in general, go to the latest version of CRM. That's where you'll get all the bugs fixed that we know of and have had time to address. Apart from the security issues, we have a very long list of customer bugs and requests, and we're going to get through as many of them as we possibly can in 26R1. It's an ambitious list. We're aiming for 35 to 40 issues. We may not get there because we have this time constraint. We want to get back to our security cadence of end of March, end of September, but we are aiming high for 26R1. So we're hoping to get close to 35 issues. That's all from me. If you have any questions, just pop them in the chat and I'll answer them as the call goes on. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you very much. So given the fact that we are existing in an environment where we have massive pressures on the roadmap, it means that I'm going to have to think about how I change things. Now, what Elizabeth didn't say is that they're beyond the actual development work that are resolving the compatibility issues and the bugs and the customer issues, is that we have got other investigation being carried out at the moment. Cast your mind back into those priority areas of being able to address things like the modernisation of CRM and the and also bringing in AI. Now, one of the obvious things is not there, and Elizabeth didn't say it, but the reality is that we're dependent on another team within Sage to come in and do the work to do the uplift of the core DLL. So it doesn't look like that team is going to have finished a project within the development cycle for certainly 2026 R1, and they may not therefore be able to start until, in reality, the development cycle, which is much closer to 2027. So where I've circled in red, this is an area that we're likely to see drifted across. Now, this is already painful for me because it is something that we've been promised in terms of our additional resource for some time, but that's the reality. The fact that we're going to be focusing, getting back into the maintenance is really essential in terms of it will have a profound impact. We're not even going to be looking at we're not going to be looking even at labs features in 2026 R1. Everything is going to be pushed down and through. So where I've tried to put into the graphic this idea of the square box with a squiggly line indicating that there is some delay in moving things out, everything's going to have a shuffle around. But you'll notice how some of the AI features and other features look like they're being dragged forward. And this is because of the parallel investigations that are taking place. So we're carrying out investigations at the moment on SSO and MFA. We're carrying out investigations on the actual AI features, and this is something that I now want to talk about. It had been something that I had very much hoped that we would be able to deliver into 2026 R1, but it looks like that we'll be providing a proof of concept now in a conference that is coming up in the near future, which somebody is going to be telling you about. But what we're working on is the development of something called an enriched semantic schema. The REST API for Sage CRM is something that is already being consumed by our partners who are working with Sage CRM and investigating being able to provide proof of concepts on the development of integrating Sage CRM with AI engines like. So I know Greatrix have had demoed. I know other partners like Orange Cloud have been demoing and having work with their. So we've got some very exciting work going on, and what we are producing as well here is this idea of going to have an enriched semantic schema in parallel with the idea of the REST API. So the REST API provides a third-party product and an AI integration tool, a Copilot, to be able to know what can be done to Sage CRM. It provides the instructions on how to delete, insert, view, and edit data. But it doesn't provide, other than basically by a reasonable guess on the field names, what that is. If you consider something like the idea of comp_territory, Well, comp underscore territory is not the security territory. It is a field that can display and hold the fact that there is a management territory rather than a security territory. The field comp underscore sector is actually the correct one, and there's actually even a comp underscore sector, which is a different field altogether. So you'd be looking at that and thinking, goodness, if you just had the REST API, you wouldn't know what you were looking at. So what we're going to be adding in is this concept of the enriched semantic scheme, which provides for every field within inside the CRM database an understanding of what that data is, what it means, and have and also whether it's in terms of whether there's any requirements to it, whether it is personally identifiable information, so that the tool can actually make that decision itself, and it would all be done through a secure access through the APIs as well. So this concept of that is probably going to be a foundationally changing implementation inside 20. I'll take some questions at the end, if I may, Mark, and I can see that there's some other questions that have come in, but these are going to come a little bit later on. The upgrade that we're doing with the compatibility side that Elizabeth has talked about, making sure that we're supporting SQL Server 2025 is very important, because that's Microsoft's first natively supporting database for AI. It has the stored procedures that allow for information to be interrogated. And here as well, you have this mechanism, both the fact that we're supporting 2025 R2 with inside the release of Sage CRM 2026 R1, and then by 2026 R2, we should be able to have you using a enriched semantic layer as well. And this is something that we will be making available, or I will be hopefully demonstrating to you, or through to those who are attending the conference, which is coming up soon. And that's actually something now that I want to talk about. Well, I want to get Mish to do some talking about. Mish, can I hand over to you to tell everyone what's happening in South Africa?
Thanks so much, Jeff, and thanks so much once again to get the opportunity to have a quick chat to the team. Happy 2026, everybody. It's already end of January almost, but yes, it's been a flyer, right? So a quick mention about TPAC. The uptake has been phenomenal. We have basically sold out on golds and silvers, and almost out on the bronze sponsorships, which was great. I actually went to the venue last week, Monday, and we found another room, which means we actually opened another track. And that means that we have another, I think, 3 golds, and I think a couple of silvers left that we are looking to obviously sell. The accommodation also, there are only a couple of rooms left on our block booking, so please let us know if you guys are interested, and email me either at mish@mware.co.za or mish@tpac.biz. And we will assist you with the registrations, and we are really looking forward to seeing you guys, including Jeff himself. He's coming out to South Africa as well. Can't wait to see you, Jeff. And also a couple of the partners that's actually on this call. It would be great to see the ISV partners and the VARs and their clients at TPAC. Thanks so much.
I know that Magella's coming out from CRM together. Anyone else who's here?
Anthony is over here as well.
No,
Magella,
Anthony
definitely.
Anthony's not having to travel a long way, is he then?
No, not very far. Mark, are you guys coming through as well, all right? From Timings. I think Mark's got his hand up. Not sure if he's can unmute himself.
How's that? Is that working?
It's
Yes,
working,
that's
Mark.
working.
It's working.
Yes, we are coming.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. Good. Right, well, you can see that we've got, there's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of education. And before the 8th, which is when the official conference starts, there's going to be, I think the 6th and 7th are also pre-con days.
That's correct.
So you've got partners, ISV partners, providing education. So if you're somebody who is, especially the 300 world, but I think you've got X3 partners coming in and talking about that as well. That's a very good conference. It is probably one of the most exciting. Well, I think of all of the conferences, the TPAC conferences are the most exciting, but I think that the South African conference is the most exciting of all. But thank you. Right. I will actually suggest that you have explained something about the 300 Action Group, Misha, as well, while you're here.
Cool. I will definitely do that. This is very exciting. Within the space, if I just look at what we did last year, last year was tipping our toes in the water with regards to introducing ISV presentation sessions to the Sage 300 Action Group. It was local time only here in South Africa, and I had a lot of questions about, can we actually cover different time zones? So I'm very glad to say that last year we covered 24 ISVs across the 12 months with one 1 hour session per month, and 2 30-minute slots in each one of those sessions, where this year we are covering different time zones. So, that means that we've actually opened it up to 60 ISVs, and we will have 162 sessions right through the year. So that's very exciting to us. And if you haven't joined the Action Group yet, once again, please email me, and also go and follow our LinkedIn page. So we've got a TPAC LinkedIn page these days, and also the Sage 300 Action Group LinkedIn page, which is great content. It is on by invite only, so just pop me a request to join, and I will go and join you on the group. The same as with the Action Group as well, the WhatsApp group as well. The WhatsApp group has been amazing. That knowledge base in your pocket is just crazy and helping everybody, and that is it's actually followed by ISVs and VARs, and a couple of Sage representatives on that group as well. So it's awesome to see the feedback and just the collaboration and everybody helping each other. It is such an amazing support group. We are reaching close on 800 people globally these days, and I'm sure that that'll even grow further with the alignment of the Action Group with TPAC. It's very closely aligned these days.
And with the fact that Sage 300 is integrated with Sage CRM, we even get Sage CRM questions popping up on that chat as well. Which is why I keep it on my phone. So it's good.
Thanks, Jeff. And your comments on there are great. We love to see you, Jeff.
Good, thank you. Coming up, this is something that obviously the 300 Action Group is all about education and mutual help. The conference is all about education and understanding how you can deliver a better experience for your customers. This is a free training cycle that you'll see advertised on the Sage Community Hub. It is completely free. All these videos, once the training has taken place, will be added to the Sage training support and training YouTube channel. So we've got 10 training. This is all starting at the end of this month. I think it's next Wednesday. So that's actually, there we are, the 28th, that we'll be starting the education for security administration within Sage CRM. What else is coming up is, of course, new assets are being added into the Sage Partner Hub. Not quite on a weekly basis, but certainly new resources being added in on a monthly basis. So there are new collateral up there that you'll find. The most recent actually is the Sage CRM Internet Access Requirements Guide. This is explaining the connectivity that is required by a Sage CRM server if you want to be able to use all of the different features, what ports need to be opened, etc. As part of, really, it's a supplement to the system administration guide, and based on some of the research that our L3 consultants were needing to do in order to help the customers. I think it was originally in Spain, but it's useful for everyone, and so it becomes a new piece of technical collateral to help you explain things to your own customers and to help your own implementers as well. Now, I am at the point where I can say, are there any questions? And the first off the block, I know that I see that there was a question regarding the mobile capacities. I think that that was a question that that Edwin wanted to ask. Please, can you give an update on a Sage CRM? Will that be on the roadmap at some point? And the answer to that, Edwin, is that, yeah, I didn't include this here because there is hopefully something that we will be able to talk about at the TPAC conference in terms of mobile capacity. Now, Sage CRM already has a very good ecosystem for mobile applications. So you've got the most obvious thing is the fact that Sage CRM itself doesn't have a map. It has a mobile optimized theme. But we also have Sage CRM Together, who has got a generalist app and sales productivity tool there as well. I think as well that I'd also say that Mark, because I'm looking at Mark popping things down there for Timelinks, is that I know that Timelinks also has a mobile around its own time and billing solution. So we have got existing apps because you need to be a specialist, but we've identified in previous, and I've shared within previous sessions, the idea that we know that we need to get to a point where it's easier for you to develop your own customers' mobile apps, which are strongly verticalized. And so that's something that we are working on, and I hope very much we'll get into a position of talking about come March and the TPAC conference. This is very soon. It's over a month away now. But it's something that I will come back to. Anything that I talk about at the TPAC conference, I'll be coming back to and talking in the next BPAC in mid-March. Cool. Right, and I think that Mark, you're waving your hand at me. So, Mark, did you want to ask a question there?
Sure, thanks. I figured if I can turn on and off the raise your hand function, you'd see it. Question, and just to correct, time and billing is a little bit minimal, I guess, minimalist. So project and service management is far more what it is.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. No worries. So I was curious about the AI function you talked about. Will that work with custom entities?
The intention is that it will be extendable. So the idea is that if you have added in custom entities, the mechanism that essentially we're using is very familiar to you already. It will be the mechanism associated with translations. So it's something that's part of metadata. So we're not going to be changing, we're not intending to change any aspects of the data model in any substantive way. So the idea is it becomes stored within the system that you can then, as you add in a new entity, you can add that description in that standard form as it's explained. And if I scoot across to the slide that I showed, which is this idea, the idea of the development of the AI features, what you see on the right-hand panel is an example of the JSON that is used for the idea of the enriched semantic schema for a single field. The idea here is that it's explaining that particular data element, which happens to be the company name. What do we mean by comp_name? Because if you look at it in the data model that the REST provides, and although it's our REST API is it's this horrible word, hateos, which is hyperlinkable and discoverable, and I can't remember what the hateos stands for now, but it's all that enrichment that you can see and understand its relationships, and you can go off and follow where all those relationships are. But it still doesn't tell you what a company name is. So the idea of an enriched semantic schema is that you've got this other thing, you just connect to it, and Bob is your uncle, and you will be able to, that tool will be able to understand what that field means in terms of the business.
So in that regard, I see organization there spelled in the standard UK form, whereas in the American form, it's organization spelled differently. Will that be supported in it being smart enough to display the right value?
The good news is that, of course, the good news is that that is something that it is smart enough for the typically an LLM would be able to understand and be able to process that. We're only going to be looking at this, delivering it in the context of English, because all of it would be too complex to be able to produce different localized versions of the enriched semantic schema when the LLMs and the AI engines are actually already doing that translation for you.
Yeah.
So so with the support of things like the end documentation and that and specialist engines, so you have I'm trying to find the right word to describe the trained point on those business elements. When it's working with an enriched semantic schema and the underlying REST data model that is provided, it will understand what those mean in terms of a overall system. So the fact that I've used organization in the in there, it means that it shouldn't pose a problem to the LLM, because it will just know that it should respond in whatever language that you're using, or as you've trained it to use. It might read a source in one language and then respond in another.
Okay, that'll be good for now. We'll find a way to make it work. I think that's the Sage CRM model.
Well, yeah, it's an excellent model. This point, our delivery point is that we want to get to a point where we've got people who are already doing AI work with Sage CRM. We want to get to a point where it is, that makes it much easier for us and much more accurate. And that will liberate so much more when it comes to our roadmap in terms of things like reporting and the ability to have other engines interacting with Sage CRM. And I don't believe at the moment there is any other CRM tool that is in the same box, competitive box that Sage CRM is in, that has got that already. So if we can get it this year, I will be a very happy bunny I will be a very happy person if we can get that delivered in the 2026 window.
I wonder if there's some guidelines.
And I don't envisage it killing us in terms of development effort either.
So I wonder if there is any, since we're working on some AI stuff for time links, I wonder if there's any guidelines we should be careful to follow or avoid to be compatible with whatever finally shows up.
Drop me a note, and I've already been in touch with the two other companies that I know are working with AI on this. We had last conference in TPAC Asia. You had Greatrix showcasing their model. I know I've been talking with Orange Cloud as well. So drop me a note. We'll have that conversation and we'll develop that still further.
That'd be great. Good. Thank you. Thank you.
What everyone else who isn't an ISV here should be thinking is, goodness, there are some exciting things happening with inside Sage CRM in total, even if 2026 R1 is essentially, it's going to be a security and compatibility release rather than a whole set of new features. We are working extremely hard to be able to put Sage CRM into this position where you can have absolute faith in us all the way through to 2020, 30 and beyond. So I think I have probably, with one final reminder to you about TPAC, I think I've reached the point where, let's see if anyone else has got any questions. I do hope that this was a useful and informative session for everyone. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.